y'all getting stuck on that vetting thing, man. Life gonna be life, man. How
Look,
things
well,
start
look,
aren't always how they end. It's just no, because there's too many things that happen in life that's going to make you change. Let me tell you something, man. That woman that you marry in the beginning is not going to be that same woman 10 years later because she
we
will have
can't.
lost jobs. She may have lost a baby. All those things are going to happen during that time. Now, that vetting process may have gotten you married, but I'm telling you, there are going to be some things. There's going to be a brick that's going to hit you in the side of the head in that blind spot, man, whereas it's going to challenge that relationship. Real relationships that last a long time, bruh,
It's
are
just a
challenged
decision to
to the
stay.
core. They're challenged to
Well,
the
well,
core.
well, check this out. Check this out. Just like I spoke of earlier, right? There is such a thing as that Trojan horse situation. They come in one way, things change, right? You can't eliminate any particular risk, right? But there are things that you can do to mitigate risk. If you find out that the woman doesn't respect you off rip, why would you go ahead and continue to try to further it, right?
But I'm
That's
not
what I'm
I'm
saying
not
when I'm
I'm not going to that extent. What I'm saying is that woman could totally respect you. She can totally
Mhm.
love you. She can totally support you, and all of that could be happening. It's not a Trojan horse, whereas some other woman's gonna jump out and she's gonna be, hi, I'm the real woman. No, it's not gonna be that. What I'm saying is life gonna be life, man, and life does change people, man. When you take certain amount of blows, man, certain things begin to happen. If you're in
I
a
know that.
fight, and if I keep jabbing you in your nose, man, you're gonna start flinching back because I'm hitting you in your nose. Relationships are the same way. When circumstances and situations keep hitting you a certain way, you do act differently. That's why when leadership comes in, it notices that. And then you go get the therapy, you go get the help, you go talk to an OG, she goes talk to her auntie, whatever. Then that's where the relationship can mature to the point whereas things get better. But the vetting, that's cool, but things do change over time. They do.
But that's only one part of it, right? And you can't skip that part. You have to look at what you're getting into. You have to take time to get to know a person. That's just part of it. I'm not saying that's the end all be all, and I understand that people change, but it's something that you can't ignore. You have to vet. You have to make sure that they have personality traits, that they have the same core values as you. You want to take time to vet this person so you realize, okay, this is somebody that I think that I could live with. There's always going to be circumstances. It's not that's out of your control, but it's an important step that you can't skip in order to
No, I'm
mitigate the
not saying
risk.
skip that. I never said that.
Okay.
What I said
Yeah.
was, that's cool you do all that. But man, it's just like a car, man. You buy a car, man, you're gonna kick the tires, you're gonna do everything. You might even take the car to the mechanic. Keep that car for 10 years though. Keep that car for 10 years. I bet you something gonna wear out. I bet you a belt gonna break. I bet you something gonna happen to that car. So it's going to change as you drive it. A relationship changes as you're in it, as you're living it every single day. That's my point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to
Now,
vet. Yeah, you
so
got
so
to do
even
all
with
that.
that,
But it's gonna
so
change.
even with that, right?
So if you say
There's
I'm
certain
gonna
things.
vet it, and then the Trojan horse comes after that. I mean, what's the Trojan horse? Like you got, and then if it's something, then be a little more specific. I guess that's all I'm saying.
So even the car example you used, right? You saying after 10 years things are going to wear down. Now, just say I buy a 2010 Camry versus a 2010 BMW. You know for a fact that that BMW is going to be much more cost to you than if you had that Camry, because the cost of ownership is just crazy and they're less reliable. So you can't eliminate it. Something still could go wrong with the Camry, but it's a lot less likely for something to happen to that Camry than it will with that BMW. There's no doubt about that. It's just mitigating the risk. And I would never say get hung up on it, but it's something that you have to do. That's all I'm saying. It's important. It's important. It's an important part of the process.
Um, Trev, you remember a few weeks ago, right? We was talking about this very topic on Lapeef Let's Talk, right? You remember
Mhm.
when I asked that woman, I said, what is it that the average woman does that makes her above being led by the average man? You remember her response?
Nah,
What?
nah. Refresh my memory. Refresh my memory.
She
What she
said
say?
she said that the simple fact that they are sought after and that she can make a baby, that makes
Oh
her
yeah,
above
yeah,
being
yeah,
led
yeah,
by
yeah,
the average man.
yeah, Yeah. And that's see that, but that's what we did as a society, right? This feminism definitely helped with that. We I feel like we're actually overvaluing women, right? Because when you think that, if you were to ask me, I'd say it's 50-50, right? Some men say no, we're the ones bringing life, women say that, but at the end of the day, you need both partners to have a baby naturally, right? So you can't put yourself above for that. That's a factor that cancels out, period.
And the reason why I brought that up, right, is because just today there was this woman on TikTok again. TikTok is a wild place, y'all.
Yeah,
And
TikTok's wild.
she was looking to her father and speaking of her father as the type of man that she would want her man to be, right? But what I think where a lot of women get wrong, and she looked at her father and said, "Oh, he led in everything. He was the leader. He was this, that, and the third." And I'm like, yeah, but what the problem that we have is that we look to our parents, but we look to them through a child's eyes. Of course, your father's gonna look like a leader to you. He's supposed to lead you. He's your dad. But what they fail to realize is what was the dynamic between your father and your mother is what you really should be looking at. And then more importantly, you should be looking towards your mother for the way you should be behaving in a relationship as a woman. Because while she was looking at her father the entire time and idolizing him, she didn't learn shit from her mom. And that's the problem. That's the biggest problem that we have when it comes to this, because the reality is the average man can lead the average woman, because most of us is just doing regular, normal shit. You ain't doing nothing that spectacular in your life to make you above being led by the average man. He knows how to do what you do. Both of y'all learn on the job as y'all go. But what happens is that we look to these outside sources and we look to these other people and we say, oh, that's what a leader is. That's what it is. But you're looking from the outside, you're looking from the outside. You don't know the inner workings of their relationship. You're looking at your dad as the leader, but you don't know that how many times he done consulted with your mom. You don't know how many times she done had a decision in a play, but you don't know about it. But also, you don't even know that your mom is choosing to be quiet because she knows that she trusts him. You don't know that your mom is choosing to follow your father. You don't know that she understands the assignment because you never go to your mom to have a conversation with her about, hey, mom, how do I deal with a man? Most people don't get along with each other anymore. Most of the reason why these relationships don't work ain't because a man lacks leadership. It's because they just don't get along. And people are quick to jump out of situations when shit get hard.